So, shall I start again? Okay, ladies and no gentlemen, uh, hope we're all doing well today. Um, Here today, I would like to share very quickly in this lightning talk an app that I've come across, and I found it most handy. It is about, spotting fake news, and nowadays you'll see why it could come in handy. So if I share with you here these two photos, um, can you have a guess, or can you make a guess which is real and which could be doctored or faked, or um, sort of played with in any way? Any ideas? There is the one on the left, there is the one on the right. Do we have any idea? Okay, it's fine for now because we're going to do that fact check in a few. Now, this is the app that I've come across that is quite highly rated. It's called Oigetit Fake News Filter, that is available on Google Play and App Store. Now, here is how we work with this app. It's based on a rating here, and that rating is based on a reliability index. Now, it actually rates the news automatically, so you'll find real news marked in green, where here the articles have been fact-checked, and they are fact-checked against several sources, so you can refer to those easily. When you have the yellow articles, this means like most of the information is factual. However, there could be portions that you can find unreliable, and I would not recommend that you go for those. Lastly, there are the fake news marked in red, and as you can see, these are articles containing large portions of inaccurate information, and we definitely need to exclude those. They could be like fake photos, fake news or information, or a mix of both. And that is exactly what we're looking for. So that's a good start. And there are certain rules that we could use or guidelines that we could abide by to fact check. So here is one of those rules, or one of those checklists that could help us fact check if we would like to use our own sense of fact checking. Here, you start with a headline, and again, you can easily compare that to that app I previously referred to. Check the headlines if there is excessive punctuation marks, things about secrets to be revealed. There is image search on Google. They call it reverse image search, and we're going to look at that in a few. And the idea of researching the publisher, the domain, how you've come across that article or photo. Are there any links, other links to other articles that you can go for and compare? Up-to-date information, broken links, emotional language rather than factual kind of language. So all this could help guide us. And if we're working with our students, we can train them on that as well. Now, here is what I love, really, how to do what we call a reverse image search. And this is done on Google. I had no idea it was possible. The whole thing is you go to images.google.com, and in the search box on the right, you can do search by text, which we all do, or there is a camera where you can upload a photo, or even voice, okay? So these are three ways, but what actually matters to us most is that search. This is the first image that we had at the very beginning. And as you can see, I go and upload it. And once it's uploaded here, I just get it from my hard drive. So, and mark it. Now it's uploading and it gives me search findings. It tells me this is Charles and Greta Thunberg. And it gives me a list of the websites or, wherever it appeared, the pages where it appeared. And you can easily see that this is real information with dates that are recent. Not only this, you will find the either .com, bbc.com, CNN.com, any legitimate, reliable news outlets. So this is fact-checked. You can use this photo without doubting it. Let's look at other altered or doctored photos and how we can find out whether, about them, whether or not they are authentic. Now, here is another one. And this is the following one I would like to share with you. Okay, so here is the second picture that was on the slide, the first slide. I uploaded, and as you can see here, we're going to again upload it through our browse and search now. Look at that. It says altered photos in the news, and it starts giving you a list. And you will find this image marked as one of those altered photos. And it says fake news, hoax image or images, etc. And would give you information about that. And this particular photo where Putin is actually attending a G20 summit. He was placed in the middle when he did not even attend that summit. So this is one of those photos that was actually altered, used in some news outlets, circulated, and people could easily buy in and would be easily deceived. We had a similar situation years ago in Egypt, but I cannot really share that at the moment. It was so funny because the news outlet was such a reliable newspaper. They altered it and posted it in that newspaper abroad, some newspaper, I think it was the Independent, Washington Post, just someone there realized and they posted the original one. Comparing it looked so funny and it was so embarrassing indeed. So here are some examples on how we can possibly find for ourselves, whether or not these photos or information out there, whether that is trusted or not. Something else before we wrap up this lightning talk, there are other fact-checking websites. As you can see here, there is Politic or PolitiFact, there is FactCheck.org, all slides. These are interesting, fact-checking tools online instead of a web app. Apps can be actually used through a mobile phone. If not, there are web-based versions and tools that we can personally use, demonstrate, and ask our learners to use before they start quoting any information about some news event or what have you. Apparently now that's the end of the lightning talk, and I would like to hear from you if you have any ideas how you can possibly use that in a classroom setting. I wonder if you'd like to share with us now. Over to you, Heike.
I was just thinking about how I could use this in the classroom. Obviously, we could always present some pieces of news to the students and see whether they guess, is that picture right or wrong? But the other thing is perhaps we could help them find out a couple of thoughts on when they should be suspicious about some news. What do you think? I mean, for example, I heard if the headline of the news arouses kind of an emotion, yeah, and seems to be very directed in one particular area to be negative about one or the other things, then it could be that this news is fake, for example, as a guideline. But is there other ways of making sure that when you read a headline and when you see a picture that you should be suspicious?
Well, I'd like to hear from the rest of us here. And just so I show you an example here, I just have this checklist and worksheet. This is a checklist that we can start with, as an example, get our students to look at a piece or a picture and start, fact checking, guided fact checking. Now, the worksheet itself, all right, is online. And as you can see here, can you see it, or should I share?
Yes, please, if you could share it, that would be great.
Yeah, share it again, because I'm sure it's not there. Okay, now it's there. You can see it, right? So here is the real worksheet, the one online. Here it tells us more about the idea of fake news versus what they call satire. Sometimes people would post, photos that are altered, doctored, or maybe news that are altered, and just for the fun of it, for that sense of satire. All right, like these programs on television, what they're saying is not really true. However, it's based on some reality and they're making fun of it. So here again, this is about doing some fact check. Is it really true, or somebody actually making fun of something? And here are some examples from things like the Empire News, Washington Post, etc. I mean, you can use some, interesting tools here, where these are steps. It's like a lesson plan where there is an article with questions, plus they go and react. How do they react to that article? And you just actually check out here if there is a difference between what they call satire versus real news. Any clues? Are there any clues in the article or articles? Why do people make mistake, or people could mistake this for that? I mean, how do we fall into that trap, buying in what could be satire and think it's real news? Because that's what we do mostly all the time. Especially, we don't go deep anymore. We just read headlines and we, believe them right away. And if there are any concerns, I really love that, and it gives us more, on politics and other things. Look at that. These are 2 articles. And again, this is more and more comparisons, etc. And again, the same process of, going over, differences, and if there is any overlap of information, etc., etc. So basically, this is one idea, how we can apply this in the classroom.
Wonderful. That's great. Thank you so much. Anybody else has another idea? Feel free to speak up now or hold forever peace. And
I guess we can wrap it up here and now. I thank you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the kind invite, Heike. And hope that I am able to survive and, watch more of this. Now I'm going to do that. Thank you. Thank you, Vicky.
We thank you from the bottom of our heart. And before I let you go, I would like to introduce everyone who does not know Hanaa as of yet, just very briefly who Hanaa is. And Hanaa Khamis is an ESOL practitioner and a TESOL trainer who's been experimenting with educational technology since 1999. Currently, she's part of TESOL Gulf Board of Directors. She earned an MA in TESOL from the American University in Cairo in Egypt in 2007. Her thesis focused on communication strategies among EFL university learners in online interaction. Her research and training interests mainly include pedagogy, technology, and assessment. Thank you very much, Hanaa, for joining us from Egypt, and we'll wish you during Ramadan a lot of, encouraging time, because that's a beautiful time to reflect and to go in there and not work too hard.
Well, I can't promise. It's been intense.
This is the thing, yeah, that whenever you shouldn't, but it's still a beautiful time for feasting afterwards then. And I wish you all the strength. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much, ladies. And we have Anna too. Thank you very much, Ahmed, Lisa, and Vicky. Thank you for the kind comments. Over to you.
Okay, I'll stop the recording at this point, and I'm